Yo, what is good, my fellow deadheads? Your overlord has returned once more, back with yet another JJK Phantom Parade video for you guys, but this time, today, we're actually covering the JP version of the game. I just wanted to talk about something so important, and guys, I sound really hype right now. I sound super lit right now. Sure, yes, that's cool. I am this way because I just have been at work and I've been thinking about doing this video all day. So I've been trying to maintain this energy for real, or not trying to. I've just been maintaining this energy since that point. And now we are here finally to talk about the topic today. But before we get into the topic, I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys to go down below, smack that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, and hit the comments so that you can tap in with the dead man and let him know what you do and do not like. But I say all of that because we're going to get right into it. Guys, the 1.5 anniversary for the Japanese version of the game has been going on, and it has been very successful. I think so. It seems like they've had a lot of really good content added in. They still plan to drop even more incredible content. I actually was just playing it a little bit, watching Slug stream. Shout out the brother. But I was watching Slug stream, and I was farming up not only 3,000 cubes for Gojo, the 10 tickets for Shoko, which I got neither of them, got absolutely wiped, it's okay. But also there's a free multi in the same event, this memory quest right here, because they brought back the JJK0 memory quest. There's another set of tickets you can get from the event that lets you summon on a banner with all of the JJK0 characters, with Gojo, not all of them, but not Zero, I'm sorry, with the hidden inventory characters. But with Toji, Geto, and Gojo from the first hidden inventory like round of things, right? But we're not here to talk about that today. As of right now, we are currently in the Shoko section of this celebration. So it is the 30th today as I'm recording this, but we're about to get into June, I'm sorry. We're about to get into June here, and that's when we're going to see our Toji formidable battle added in, which takes relevance in this video, guys. Just keep that in mind. And also, we're going to be getting these 3 events added here. Not these 3 events added here, but honestly, I need to make a separate video on this. Story events getting retouched upon, kind of similar to like Dokkan events in a way, right? But what we are here to talk about today is this right here. This right here says that in July, we will be getting not a new unit released, but a new coin shop unit added on. So the last time that they did something like this was for the Shibuya incident stuff in the last live stream, and you could see, you know, we had this character release, another character, it was Mai, then Mai, somebody else, or was it somebody before Mai and then Mai? And then it was like this month here with content, and then literally boom, right here it said a new character dropping. So instead of a new character dropping for Summon, we have a new character coming with Phantom Medals. And guys, this is a very important question as well, just because it's been a very long time since the Phantom Medal shop has changed. So it's probably been a very long time since you've thought about what kind of decisions you should be making in your Phantom Medal shop. But I am here to alleviate that stress for you today and talk about who the character could possibly be. Now, it has to be Dagon. Who else would it be besides Dagon? I just want to propose the theory that Dagon is going to drop in the coin shop. Not only is it Dagon, but obviously it's going to be like the awakened form of Dagon, because the first form of Dagon, let me pull up a picture. So this is Dagon initially as a cursed womb. He looks like some sort of like sea creature or whatever, right? And out of all the disaster curses, Jogo is obviously fire. Hanami is kind of like, let's not look too deep on the wiki just to make sure I don't spoil anybody, but Hanami is obviously like nature or like earth, Gaia. There was no wind cursed spirit. Dagon would be like water. The beach that they're always at, like Jogo, not Jogo, I'm thinking of Geto, but not Geto, Kenjaku, Jogo, Mahito, and even Chozo at some points, I believe. Every time you see them talking on a scene with a beach, the beach is actually Dagon's domain. But now Dagon can actually control his domain because he evolved to his awakened state, I guess you could say. Or rather, not his awakened state, but like the first form you see here is a cursed womb. And then this one right here is the awakened state. But quite literally, where we're at in the story right now, Shibuya incident, obviously, and a lot of fighting is about to take place. But as that fighting takes place, one of the things that happens is that Dagon does actually evolve and turn into that form. He awakens his domain. Everybody already knows the scene with Toji breaking into the domain and, you know, slaughtering that man Dagon or whatever, right? But Dagon, and sorry if you're not watching the anime, but I mean, if you're not watching the anime, come on, bro, get it together. But yes, Dagon's domain is pretty much a beach, and every single time he commands it, like, these fish kind of like spawn in out of nowhere and just start to like bite at you. And it's pretty much uncounterable. Probably, it's literally uncounterable unless you're like somebody like Toji, whose reaction time is so fast that instead of feeling something bite into your arm, at the moment that you feel something materialize on your flesh, you can point blank just react to it. That is how fast you have to be for that. So I have no doubt in my mind that Dagon is going to be a domain character that is probably focused on DOT. Also, this Shoko has a very specific mechanic in her kit that highly focuses on, well, not highly focuses on it, but in all of her healing, right? She has a chance to give you a heal over time. She has a chance to give you debuff reductions by a certain percentage. I think 70% on her skill 2, or no, on her skill 3, and 30% on her ultimate. And then she also has 2 turns of removal on poison debuff. Poison specifically. Poison is not the same thing as Dagon's thing. Dagon's thing will probably be like DOT. It'd probably be closer to Sukuna's laceration, but instead of laceration, it'd probably be like DOT, like biting or like ravenous or something like that for like for the piranha type of fish that are like biting you, right? But I am curious to see. I feel like maybe they could introduce a character who has another DOT form of like mechanic or something like that. Maybe they introduce some new contents that have DOT forms of mechanic, because you got to think Shoko's going to be good for the future. Now, I have not experienced floors 60 through 80 of the tower. If there are floors that highly implement poison, please do go down below in the comments and let me know, just so I have a better idea. But if there's nothing like that in the game right now that highly focuses on poison, that means that with Shoko, they are setting up for something big. I mean, think about it. Poison is one of the craziest damage mechanics in this game from the enemies, because you don't have many options for purifying. You really, because there's not healers in the game, right? There's only 3, and they're all Shoko. You don't have an option for like just like taking away the poison straight up. Like literally, poison is one of the craziest mechanics to deal with in this game. They give us a character who can stack revives and keep giving himself attack immunity. They give us a character who can continually remove poison. So then we have a character releasing whose domain I feel like works in a way that's like DOT, because I feel like the way Dagon's domain works is that any time you are like inside of his domain, at any random moment, that shit could take away from your health. And that is pretty much how DOT works, because at that point the enemy does not have to battle you. All the enemy has to do is literally just wear away at your ass. All right guys, I have Dagon's domain here actually, and the fish themselves are not actually the domain. The fish, Death Swarm, an endless swarm of Shikigami connected to the can't miss effect of Horizon of the captivating Skanda. The relentless pressure can be used to counter anti-domain techniques like Falling Blossom of Motion, and Dagon can willingly divide the effectiveness of this technique among his opponents. So consistently, the domain itself is the beach, right? But he can produce the Shikigami, and the way that the wiki has it explained, it kind of seems like it's, because I guess the domain will be the barrier you're trapped inside of. I guess it wouldn't necessarily be the technique itself, but I mean, everybody else's domain is his technique. We're not gonna get into this semantics of it anyway. If y'all want JJK like science analytical videos, y'all gotta comment down below and leave like 100 likes or something like that on the videos for that shit, because that's a lot. But Horizon of the captivating Skanda. Dagon's domain is a sunny, picturesque tropical island where his Shikigami are guaranteed to bite their prey. The domain has an umbrella and lounge chairs, which Mahito and Geto frequently use. So, obviously, we're going to be inside of the beach type of domain, which would be really cool. It will be a new domain added into the game. But then, so honestly, now that I'm seeing these separated, right, I'm thinking that maybe Death Swarm could just be like a, ooh, what if he has this skill naturally, and then his domain pretty much just gives his allies a buff, because Mahito and Geto frequently use the chair. And he could do this even before he was able to transform into like his awakened state, back when he was like a little womb, right? So what if the domain just provided a buff for allies, because Mahito and Geto typically chill there. I've literally even seen them playing in the water. And this skill is a skill that he has, and it's like a crazy AoE skill, or no, it's like a single target skill with crazy damage. And then whenever he activates his domain, maybe this skill transforms, similar to Megami, Funny enough, Megami was like one of the only reasons that everybody was going to survive, or everybody did survive in this fight. Similar to Megami, right? This skill could change and it could become this all of a sudden hits everybody with like a 100% effectiveness rate or something like that, right? But I don't see Dagon being like a healer. I can see him maybe being like a debuffer because he does have the ability to just release water at any moment without any source around. Like, he is the source pretty much. But like, it seems that the water is based on his cursed energy, and all of the disaster curses, cursed energies, like reserves, are just ridiculous. So honestly, I think Dagon is either going to be a DPS, either going to be a debuffer or a buffer in some sense. And even if he is a buffer, it might be some... Dude, watching these little scenes from the anime, like, in here, oh, it's taking me back, bro. But literally, he might be a debuffer more so, or he could be a buffer in the sense that he buffs his allies with his domain. And his domain just might be the thing. Like, every domain character doesn't 100% work in the same way, but like basically with all of them, you just kind of want to rush their domain. I say the only character that you're not trying to like really rush their domain and get the best out of them is probably Sukuna, because Sukuna is just insane. Well, Sukuna and no, you are trying to rush domain expansion, Gojo's domain, just because you want to get as many ultimate pops as much as you can so that you can get more turns with Gojo out. But guys, I'm sure Dagon is the next character. But I will throw y'all a little curveball and throw y'all a little consideration here. So I just wanted to have the date for reference, guys, but the last time a coin shop character released, it was Mahito. And Mahito released in April of 2024. So we are officially going to be getting a new coin shop character one year and 3 months, 1.25 years later. That is so long to think about, because the fact that Mahito even came out on April 12th, that's like around like 6 months or something like that we waited for a coin shop character. And then it took a year and 3 months for the next one to come. Almost 3 times the time, right? Almost 3 times the time, yeah, for a coin shop character to come out. But I just say that because I'm just like, it has been a very long time, and people are allowed to do one thing religiously, and they're allowed to change their mind. And the development team is definitely allowed to change their mind at any moment and decide, hey, we don't just want to release cursed spirits with this. We want to also release other types of characters, because at the end of the day, it does not matter what type of character they release. The characters that they're releasing are free to play, and that means that it's easier for a free to play player to get it. That means that's another victory for free to play players. Another coin shop character is another victory for free to play players. So it does not matter who they release. It's always going to be a W, because it's just another character we can pick up for free. But global players, please, please, please do listen to me. I, right now, have Mahito with 2 dupes in him, which means I bought 3 copies of him. That costs 4,500 Phantom Medals. I have Hanami with no dupes, and I have Jogo with 1 dupe, planning to buy another dupe, and I'm close to that second dupe, which will be 4,500 more dupes, or 4,500 more coins for Jogo, and 1,500 coins for Hanami. So that means that in a little while, once I pick up that third copy of Jogo, that will mean I have spent 10,500 Phantom Medals. Chat, be a little more conservative than the dead man. A lot of other content creators that I'm talking to actually say that they have like 5,000 saved up. They're just waiting to see what happens, which makes a lot of sense, right? Their efforts are going to be paid, rewarded handsomely. That's the phrasing. But basically, Mahito, I didn't realize that Mahito's ultimate was an ultimate that scaled off of the enemy's HP. So realistically, it's nice having Mahito with the extra 2 dupes for the extra cursed energy in case you're stalling with him, and all of a sudden it gets a little more out of hand than you expected, and you know, you need a little more cursed energy to work out a little bit more. Maybe you needed one more extra little ultimate from Mahito than you expected. Cool, I'm glad I have the extra cursed energy. But ultimately, from a resource standpoint, I probably would have been fine with just that A0 Mahito, to be honest, because I feel like I used Mahito for like a period. I feel like there was a phase of my account where I needed Mahito, and then after the phase of needing Mahito, like it just didn't matter that much anymore. And that's not to say that he could not have an incredible SP buff on the way that we do not know about. But as of right now, the resources just, I feel like, are a little scarce for free-to-play players. And I'm not saying that I go and consistently buy Phantom Medals and stuff, but I do, I feel like I've maybe bought Phantom Medal bundles a couple times. Like, I don't look for them, but maybe they have been purchased in the course of me purchasing other things. But at the end of the day, guys, you need one copy of Hanami for Hanami to work how Hanami is supposed to work for you and help you stall content. I'd probably say you need just one copy of Mahito. The only one out of them that I would say maybe you want 3 copies of is Jogo, because now we know that his SP buff is incredible and he's going to become a much better damage dealing option. And he's going to have like DOT, and hopefully him and Sukuna are like the brother. Hopefully they're like Jordan and Pippen, right? Hopefully. But guys, I'd say getting 3 Jogos and then 1 copy of the other 2 each. That adds up altogether to like 7,500 Phantom Medals. And I'm just saying, you take this from somebody who has spent 10,500 Phantom Medals. I don't regret any of my decisions. My Mahito is cracked. My Mahito has a Phantom Seal. With Mahito SP buffs, my Mahito is gonna be the cat's cradle, the bee's knees. There I go saying that old terminology again. But like, nonetheless, as a free-to-play player, I don't think that A2 Mahito is worth it. It's nice to have, but not worth it. Because what difference A2 makes on Mahito is, his ultimate is not going to change for you really. As long as you level it up to level 10, like my level 10 Mahito ultimate versus the A0 level 10 Mahito ultimate is doing the same damage to the enemies. It's based on the enemy's health if we're fighting the same enemy band for band. But where the difference is, well, I guess the little initial hit of energy on the enemy before the HP based damage, but also the other little skills when I'm hitting the enemy and shit, right? Those little skills do a little bit more damage, and sometimes I am fighting an enemy that is type advantage to green, but I just don't want to do a full stall comp with Mahito. And honestly, Mahito, I feel like, ironically enough, I feel like Gojo characters give Mahito relevance, because you have a really crazy strong character front loaded on your team, and then they disappear at some point, and then you need another character from the back line to finish up the scraps. And typically Mahito is good for cleaning up the scraps. But now we have another Gojo coming who doesn't disappear, who doesn't leave from the fight. We still have hidden inventory Gojo. Everybody's about to have more access to hidden inventory Gojo. And not to mention, we have domain expansion Gojo, who does not stay for the entire fight, but pretty much makes the fight his bitch, so that he does stay for the entire fight, because the fight's usually done before he's gone. But nonetheless, I think that Dagon is going to be an incredible add to the coin shop. I'm claiming it here and now, Dagon. But I said that Toji had some relevance earlier, because this is the first time that they've given us a formidable enemies like type of fight against a different character besides a cursed spirit. It is a human, and not only is it a human, it's not even a curse user. It's a heavenly restriction sorcerer killer, right? So this here is them pretty much letting us know, hey guys, we are willing to break the mold. We are willing to go outside of the boundaries and do things that we do not regularly do, because there's not a solidified thing for the game yet. Dokkan has solidified patterns that are typically followed, and they're changing right now because of the global and JP sync. We're going to be at that state in the future for JJK, but as of right now, we are not at that point. As of right now, we have no real spinal cord, I'd say. I'd say the spinal cord of the game is the typical yearly path that it follows throughout the game, and then the flesh of the game is all the characters that they decide to fill in, all that stuff, right? Or the complements that they choose to supplement in certain places that typically get contents, right? We do not have a real spinal cord for JJK just yet. Why is that? Because they had the game in the JP version, they decided not to do a global version. It was so popular they realized they needed to do a global version, and now we're trying to sync it up so that both of the games are like together, easy peasy. Like global gets bum rushed a lot of stuff, but realistically, global is probably holding up the JP player base like a lot, just because they did not originally plan to have the global version, or at least what I had heard. But success is success nonetheless. Ooh, that's bars. But either way, Dagon coming to the coin shop is going to be incredible. I think his domain is going to be DOT, or just some really crazy big damage thing, or a buffing thing for his allies, or maybe Dagon finally will start the meta for cursed spirit teams, because now all of a sudden we have Mahito, we have Jogo, we have Hanami, and then we'll have Dagon, which that's a weird little comp. Mahito for overtime damage, Mahito for HP based damage, Hanami for damage reduction, Jogo for DOT, Dagon for whatever. That could be an interesting composition. I'd like to see it. But guys, I do want to say that since they have made the change of using a human character or a non-cursed spirit character for a formidable battle, who's to say that they don't drop a different type of character in the coin shop, and they don't drop Dagon, they drop somebody else. Hopefully it is Dagon though, because I'd like to see Dagon. And honestly, we've been getting new characters introduced and everything. And honestly, like, dude, JJK, the way that the character growth system is set up, it's that kind of game where like you're either really hyped to see a not named character release. That's always the thing though. You're always hyped to see a not named character release. But even in JJK, you're really hyped to see a same name character release, because you're just like, all right, cool. Now all of a sudden, we're gonna get more character growth missions. I'm gonna be able to get this character stronger, but by me getting this character stronger, I'm also gonna get more stats from the character growth from the extra missions, and then I'll get every variant of this character stronger. So I really do love the systems in JJK Phantom Parade. If you guys want to know my honest opinion, I feel like JJK Phantom Parade is kind of like Grand Cross mixed with Dokkan. Like, Dokkan in the sense that it's all PvE based and it's all, you know, 2D and it's all you know, turn based and all that, right? But where it differs from Dokkan is, instead of it being like tapping bubbles, I actually get to select different skills. And it's like in Dokkan, only the most premium of characters have different skills. You have an active skill, a standby skill, or, you know, an exchange. Whereas in JJK, every single character in the game has 3 skills literally, and then has an ultimate. So it just feels a little more versatile to me, in my opinion. And this is not me knocking on Dokkan. I low-key have been getting back into Dokkan as well. They have been improving the game a lot since after the 10th anniversary. They realize now that they're in like the long haul for this shit. They're like, let's just make this as easy as an experience for our player base as we can. And I feel like I can say that legitimately, looking at it from the outside, from the player perspective. But nonetheless, I think that JJK just has a few more things that they do a little bit better. And guys, I still would do a video comparing the both of them. But Dagon, cracked coin shop unit drop. And even if it's not Dagon, any unit that drops in the shop is going to be cracked, because that is just another W for free-to-play players. And you know we love our free-to-play players around here at JJK Phantom Parade, as much as it doesn't seem like it. But if you guys did enjoy the video, you can go down below, you can smack that like button, you can also subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you can comment down below and let me know what you think. Do we think that the coin shop unit is going to be Dagon in July, or do we think that the coin shop unit is going to be somebody different? They're going to throw us a curveball, since they threw us a curveball with Toji in the Formidable Battles. That's going to be it for your boy, DEADMANVINCE. I got to go back to work, but you know that my love for you guys is eternal and ever growing and flowing. Peace out, Magic Knights.